Avengers Endgame served not only as a culmination for the entirety of the preceding Infinity Saga, but also worked largely as a celebration of the drastic success that the MCU had seen up until that point. The time travel element allowed our heroes to return to some of the most iconic moments in MCU history, and revisit them under the lens of seeing just how far the universe had come, and how vastly it had evolved. We got to revisit the Battle of New York, Star-Lord's iconic opening dance from Guardians of the Galaxy on Morag, and see Asgard once again after its destruction in Thor Ragnarok. Alongside each of these moments of nostalgia, we were also given moments of fan service, which also served to celebrate the immense success of the MCU, including Tony Stark wielding the Infinity Gauntlet and Steve Rogers finally lifting Mjolnir, the latter of which has been widely awaited by fans for years. While the iconic image of Steve Rogers wielding Thor's mighty hammer is a staple of comic issues, the closest we have come to see in the MCU up until this point was his ability to lift Mjolnir in Age of Ultron, or rather Budget. Upon lifting the hammer, however, fans were left with an incredible sense of triumph and excitement, but after the war emotion died down, this iconic moment left a few fans with some questions. As the legendary warhammer of Thor, the God of Thunder had spent centuries becoming well acquainted with this iconic weapon, carrying it alongside him in battles across the 9 realms, and using it to battle numerous different types of foes across the eons of the far reaches of the galaxy. Yet when it came to the final conflict in Avengers Endgame, he seemed far less effective with both the hammer and Stormbreaker than Cap did with just Mjolnir. In fact, Captain America was able to battle Thanos in a one-on-one conflict for several minutes with only the hammer and his trusty shield by his side, while Thor was fairly easily knocked away and incapacitated by the Mad Titan. So why exactly was this the case? Well, stick with us, watchers of the Marvel Multiverse, as we discuss just that, and why Steve Rogers was better with Mjolnir than Thor. There are a few key factors that explain why Cap was far more effective with the hammer than Thor was ever shown to be, and the first of which has to do with Cap's tactical mind. It has been stated that Cap is capable of mastering any weapon within seconds, and his strategic mind is able to deduce the most effective ways of using any given weapon to his advantage in a conflict. This, alongside watching Thor operate with the hammer for years across the MCU, has allowed him to figure out the weapon's strengths and weaknesses, as well as how to use it in the best way possible. The moment when he throws both the shield and the hammer in order to create a concussive shockwave of energy that knocks Thanos off balance is directly inspired by both the original Avengers entries, as Cap first learned of this capability when he came into conflict with Thor all the way back in the first Avengers movie, and the duo leveled a forest with the maneuver. By the events of Age of Ultron, they had refined the move and could use it to direct blows at groups of enemies, as seen during the premiere siege of Baron Strucker's castle at the beginning of Age of Ultron. He also has watched how Thor uses the hammer and taken note of some of his preferred moves, including spinning the hammer rapidly in order to create force of momentum and how to summon lightning at a whim. But alongside this, he is capable of developing his own ideas based on his combat experience and incredibly complex strategies and tactics, as well as utilizing his ability to find his opponent's weak points in a battle. Cap being an incredibly gifted tactician is only part of what allowed him to utilize the Warhammer so effectively, however. It cannot be disputed though that Captain America is quite potentially the best hand-to-hand fighter in all of the MCU, and would be better hand-to-hand than Thor, who strictly relies on his power and the Odin Force, which could go a long way to explain why Cap seemed far more effective with it. One of the other biggest factors has to do with their physical limitations and the circumstances under which they are fighting. Thor had spent the last 5 years sinking into a deep depression and letting himself go physically as well as mentally. He spent the past 5 years guzzling beer and playing video games while sequestered away in New Asgard, where he barely went outside, if at all, and gave up on any training whatsoever. This drastically hindered the physical fighting capabilities of Thor, and even while he had the advantage of both Mjolnir and Stormbreaker by his side, he simply did not have the physical capabilities necessary to utilize the dual weapons to their fullest potential. Cap, however, not only kept in shape, but was also aided by the super soldier serum coursing through his veins. Steve not only was in a far more capable fighting position than Thor in Endgame, but thanks to the aid of the serum, he was capable of staying in shape far longer with less effort than the average human. The serum is able to continuously replenish itself with Steve's bloodstream, but it is also capable of nullifying his secretion of lactic acids. Lactic acids are the chemicals that are responsible for making an individual's muscles sore after intense workouts, which effectively renders Cap immune to muscle fatigue and soreness, allowing him to fight for hours on end without his physical state suffering from the same limitations as normal humans. Though Thor is Asgardian and his physiology is incredibly durable, it is hinted that his ability to recover is not only stunted by his current physical state, but is also now inferior to that of Captain America. With Cap's incredible ability to deduce the best uses for the hammer in any given moment in tandem with his unrivaled stamina and willpower, he was able to put up a fight that made Thanos bleed and lead the charge into the largest battle in the history of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Though that's not to say that Thor will permanently be stunted by his physical condition, as Thor Love and Thunder set photos seem to show Chris Hemsworth in the best shape of his life, and all signs point to our favorite god of thunder making a triumphant return as one of the most powerful warriors in the history of Asgard. With that said, I want to make a few things clear in this video. We do not believe over here at the channel that Steve Rogers with Mjolnir is more powerful than a peak Thor with, say, Stormbreaker, or even that the potential of Steve Rogers with Mjolnir is equal to that of Thor. However, Captain America is the single best hand-to-hand fighter in the MCU, and with a weapon like Mjolnir, it makes complete sense why he would be the superior fighter to Thor with Mjolnir himself. He simply is able to master the weapon on a level that Thor is not able to. This is an integral part to the character of Captain America, and in many ways his greatest superpower. But anyway, my friends, what do you think of these explanations? Do you think that they adequately explain the power disparity between Cap and Thor in Endgame? Or do you think that there are other factors here that we didn't take into account in this video? As always, my friends, thank you guys so much for watching the channel. Hit that subscribe button to assemble and join our team, and I hope to see you in the next one.